Hi, I'm Lindsay and this is my Fallout channel. Around here it is generally safer to expect a spoiler minefield, even though this video in particular, not really. Just throwing it in there just to be safe. I reserve the right to say whatever I want, delete whatever comments I want, throw the video on pause for details. Are y'all ready to do something adorable? Let's get wholesome. Oh, what was that? Were you admiring my perfectly preserved pie shirt that I designed myself that's available on my Etsy store? I'm not gonna lie, it is really cheap material, but the colors stay so vibrant and bright, and that was just the judgment call I made. It does feel kind of costumey. It doesn't bother me personally, but if you've got sensory needs, just letting you know. We'll actually come back to this shirt later in the video. It's related to one of my stories. I want to tell stories today. This is another one where... Peg, quiet. Stop. I just got finished moving. I'm still so tired. We still got the background that's not put together yet. And I've daydreamed about making this video so many times. I was like, this is such a cute idea. So here's the deal. I am new to the world of Fallout YouTube. Hi. At least so much as being a regularly contributing content creator is concerned. I've wanted to be a Fallout YouTuber for a very long time. If you look, you'll see that this channel became a thing in 2020. I just didn't start uploading seriously until the show came out. So in a way, I'm like living my dreams right now. Like, I'm not making a living doing it, but the dream wasn't really to make a living doing it as much as it was to have enough executive functioning to just continuously do something I enjoy doing. That's a huge triumph for me. But I've been in the scene, a participant in Fallout fan culture for years. So when this channel started to pick up steam, I realized, oh my god, I actually have like some cute stories that I could tell about people who are famous in Fallout fandom that people would probably get a kick out of hearing. And it also just feels like a really nice gesture, like being new here. Like there's so many YouTubers that I am a fan of. At the end of the video, I'm gonna like just full on like make a list of YouTube channel recommendations. However, I do have some anxiety about it because I'm talking about real people and real things, and my memory is not good, and what if I say something that's wrong? I don't know. I'm autistic. It's always a surprise to find out what social mistake I made, so I feel like this idea is so well-intentioned that it's gonna land well. And if anything that I say is inaccurate in any way, it is an honest mistake. So let's start with the oldest story. This one is about Henry, aka MXR. I hold this guy in the highest possible regard. Okay, I met him while I was working as an editor in Los Angeles. And that is just not a situation where I'm used to being like treated well and like with respect. I was an intern for the Fine Brothers. Not to go too much on a branch that has nothing to do with MXR, but they treated us like cattle. It was pretty dehumanizing. And so when they would shoot those react shows and they would like bring celebrities in, they would send us these emails being like, don't talk to them, don't look them in the eye. And it was just like, but speaking of nice celebrity stories, during that time, Shane Dawson was freaking awesome and one of the coolest people that I met. So I like saying nice things about nice famous people. Shane Dawson treated me like a human being and MXR treated me like a human being, even though I think I may have been annoying. So here's what happened. I want to say this was like 2018. That sounds about right. I was working as an editor, constantly trying to find work, and MXR posted some ad that was like, or actually, I think he may have actually said it in a video that he was looking for editors, and I was like, yeah, dude. I have always loved MXR mod videos. Even if you don't like modding, they're just entertaining. And also, like, just as a professional, as an editor, I was like, I just feel like I get what this guy's going for. But at the time, I don't think they weren't looking for something for the mods channel because, you know, it's constantly getting demonetized. So I think they were really focused on developing MXR Plays. So I shot them my email and I sent a reel, and they had me do an audition edit, which audition edits suck. It's a shitty thing to do. But at the same time, in the context of this story, I don't hold this against them because the thing about YouTubers, the stakes are so high and the pace is so fast that I understood why in that position they just really needed to see I could do the job. And I was a fan, and so I was willing to do it. It's worth noting that sometimes YouTubers can be exploitative in these situations, but like I said, in the context of this situation, I just don't hold it against them. It's really capitalism that sucks, and everybody's doing the best they can. So they sent me some footage, and I put together an edit, and I wish I still had it. I wish that I could find it. In fact, if by some crazy miracle, I don't know, they're YouTubers, they'll probably be interested in seeing videos where people are talking about them. Dudes, if you have my edit that I did at that time, I would love to see it. I barely remember what I did, but here's what I do remember. the way that they reacted to it, which was like, this is too good. Like Henry was just flabbergasted. He was just like, it's too, like, you put way too much into this. 'Cause I put like graphics, I think, and stuff. And he's like, what you did is awesome. Like it's great. Like but just realistically, like, I just don't think that we can afford you. Like, if that's what you're gonna do. And I was like, well, if you wanted me to reel it back, but of course, I wanted the job, so I wanted to kind of show off. But the attitude that he had about it was so respectful. Like, it was just so, like, he really saw the amount of work that I did, and he was like, he didn't want to offend me. Y'all, I will be goddamned, I found it. I found the audition video. I hope this isn't like a weird violation of privacy that I'm showing y'all this. I'm silencing it just in case. I mean, this is so many years ago. And I found it. How could I not show? I found it. Yeah, I guess I was a little over the top with like the colorful borders and like the way I was doing the graphics and the insets, and a little cutesy for their brand, I would say. Probably wouldn't have gone that direction. There was a lot of like really lighthearted stuff that was lighthearted looks, I think, that were doing well at that time. But yeah, I definitely don't blame him for being like, that's too much. Look at my videos now. I'm not putting nearly this amount of effort. And so eventually, I never ended up actually doing any editing for them, which, plans like that shake around, move around, it's not a big deal. But for reasons I do not remember, I ended up telling him about my birthday party. So when I lived in LA, like, my main hangout where I hung out all the time was the Scum and Villainy Cantina. That was like my cheers. Like, I knew everybody who worked there. It was pretty cute. Unfortunately, I didn't really stay in touch with those people because that was before, like, my big brain crash thing. You can see from the pictures that I wasn't the same person that I am now. But I guess shot in the dark, because we both lived in LA, I was like, hey, it's my birthday at Scum and Villainy. If you wanted to come, that would be really cool. And I did not expect him to actually show up, but he fucking did. He fucking showed up. And I don't just hold him in high regard for showing up. Okay, what happened next? This is my memory of what happened. I'd actually be really curious how Henry and Jeannie remember this night. But what I remember is me being really pushy and autistic and weird, and them being really cool about it. So, like I said, this was before, I didn't know I was ADHD autistic, I didn't know I was gay, this was like almost immediately before a complete psychological breakdown. I don't think I was like a dick or a douchebag at that time. But I was very weird. I mean, I'm always a little weird. That's just the cards I was dealt. But there was like a clingy desperation to the energy that I was carrying at that time. And so I guess Henry had the intention of being cool, running in, saying hi for a second, and being like, it's so cool to meet you, keep that relationship, because maybe I would be editing for them in the future, who knows. And then he told me that basically Jeannie it is Jeannie, right? That's her, like, once again, my memory is so terrible, I could make really ridiculous mistakes, but I guess she was like circling the block, waiting for him to like do his cool thing, and me, being me, just insisted that she should park and come in. I'm so sorry, Jeannie. That was obnoxious. It was my birthday, and I was drunk, and I thought I was being fun, and looking back, I really should have respected, like, it was so cool for him just to run in and say hi for a second. Why did I push it? I'm so sorry. But she fucking did! She parked and came in and hung out on my birthday. Both of them did. They both did. MXR Plays showed up at my birthday party. Fame works weird in the internet age, because I was there with my other friends and they had no idea who this person was, or how crazy exciting it was to me that he was there. I'm like, no, this is like the Skyrim Fallout 4 mods guy. Like, I feel like that's probably what I did a lot. I have no recollection of whatever it is that I talked about that night, but I'm sure a lot of it was how awesome I thought that they were, because I was so moved that they showed up. And I have a very specific memory of, while I was ranting and being animated about whatever it was I was being animated about, of Jeannie looking at me just being like not in a fake way, like she was doing her best, but I think I was being annoying. So that's my recollection of meeting Henry and Jeannie of MXR Plays, is them being really nice and making the best of being nice to a very troubled neurodivergent person. And so, like, I think I did a video not that long ago. I guess they got scammed out of a lot of money. there's a video on, I think it's on the MXR Plays channel about, and I've watched over the years, they've gone through so much crap with demonetization and their channels and just trying to just keep their income going and keep their job going despite how volatile and unfair I believe that YouTube has been to them over the years. And there's some little moment in that video where like Henry says something about like, I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb, maybe like that I was taken like this, and Jeannie says something like, no, you're just really nice and really trusting.
He was incredibly shady, might have been a pathological liar, but I was just too stupid to see that.
I think you also just are too kind of a person.
Thanks.
Sorry. No, I just feel like you always see the best in a person and try to be like, unless they flat out murder someone, you're just like, no, that's just who they are. You know, they're good people on the inside.
And I feel like after that thing with my birthday, I can say that I bear witness that I do think that he is a nice and trusting person who gives people the benefit of the doubt, despite the sassy, I don't give a f- kind of thing that he gives off. So I appreciate you guys a lot. All right. Now, and it's just going to get warm and fuzzier from here, y'all. Now let's talk about Kenneth Vigue. Kenneth Vigue is, like, in my head, the most popular kid in school in the Fallout fandom. He started the roleplay fictional podcast series Chad. It does a great job of working in a bunch of great Fallout inside jokes. Of course, I've listened to it. I'm dying to do something similar. But yeah, Kenneth is the man. When I was working on Lindsay's Fallout films, he gave me a shout out on his Twitter, and it was the greatest moment of my life. A part of me is like, I want to skip this because the feels are so reals. So I'm doing these in chronological order. So this was about 2020, and this is when we're gonna come back to the shirt. So, like I said, this isn't my first rodeo trying to be a Fallout content creator. And after my nervous breakdown, aka brain crash, the capitalist gun was against the back of my head. And I was just like, I need to pick something that I will do naturally, that I won't have to force myself to do because my executive functioning was trash, and figure out a way to monetize that. And so I was highly like risk averse at this time. I was just like balls to the wall, whatever it's gonna take. Let's make Fallout my job. Let's do it. So I just like threw myself into it. Like I was streaming. I had an Etsy shop that had like a lot of, if you guys want to see me bringing that stuff back, that'll probably be a video on its own where I can just show you like the artwork and stuff that I had. Be like, what do you guys think I could do with this that I could sell? This shirt was one of those things that I did this artwork and designed this shirt at this time. I loved the idea. I love these kind of patterns, and I loved the idea of doing patterns like this of Fallout junk. So I started artwork of other junk, but this was like the best like finished design that I ended up really liking. Also, if anybody knows other all-over printers, that might be a better choice. But anyway, back to Kenneth Vigue. But yeah, the reason why my nervous system is trying to like wriggle its way out of talking about this is because this was a very, very hard time. I've never been more scared. I've never been more desperate for financial success. Luckily, things turned around for me not long after this, but I didn't know they were going to at the time. I was just so fucking scared. I was so scared. And Kenneth Vigue showed me a lot of kindness. Oh my god, feelings. But yeah, this is why I don't have assets for this, because I was like, I don't have the nervous system regulation to go like find screen grabs of this. Y'all, I found it. I found the tweet. And yeah, there's no way I'm gonna read this. I will absolutely start crying. So I'm just gonna like put it on the screen in like a slow, like kind of scrolling crawl thing. Like, I guess like while I ramble for a second or however long I leave it on the screen, or you can pause it or whatever. Yeah, so this is what happened. So yeah, basically I would die for him now. Yeah. Know so many people are like, oh my god, get it together. I'm like, yeah, I have like basically an emotional regulation disorder. I have a somatics expert. I have a counselor. I'm medicated. Trust me, we're doing all we can. I was gonna zoom through this to get it done. So I'm gay. You guys know that. I mean, I don't know if you know that, but you can probably tell. And one of the reasons I was so desperate at this time and so scared is because I had just decided to go no contact with my family. It wouldn't be fair to say that it was because I'm gay, but let's just say it didn't help. let's just say I was in a situation that was oppressive enough that I wasn't actually capable of realizing that I was gay until I was out of it. Anyway, Kenneth Vigue is also a gay person who's gone no contact with his parents. I'm like sitting here waiting until I think I can talk again without crying. Come on, body. I have shit to say. But anyway, he posted the stuff I was working on. He was really supportive about it, and he was vulnerable and shared that he had this shared experience with me, and it really, really meant a lot to me at a time where I felt like nobody gave a shit. He started Chad, the Fallout 76 podcast that has become very beloved in the fandom. Generally, people talk about it like everybody knows a Chad, you know, the douchebag of the wasteland, but I think the coolest selling point of Chad is that he justifies the things about Fallout 76 that don't make any sense in the universe, most notably the fact that when people die, they come back. I'm just gonna start there. Unfortunately, I couldn't get through all of it because I have kind of issues with fiction, but like, if somebody took it and made like a visual version of it, that would be kind of a cool project. Maybe with AI, that's actually feasible to actually make, like, I'm picturing like a video that has like a slideshow, like pictures of the scenes that are being described with like maybe like text at the bottom that's like captions, and then turning it into a visual thing for people like me who struggle with just the audio. I don't know if that's ever been discussed. I think it's kind of a cool idea, just throwing it out there. He also, to my knowledge, started Fallout for Hope, which is the Fallout-themed charity drive for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. The man is wholesome as fuck. Recently, his partner had medical concerns. I sent him $100. Oh my god, I'm totally gonna be late for something. Oh my god, I'm like gonna be late for Star Trek trivia because I've been recording so long. Okay, now we gotta wrap this up. This bitch has to stop crying. And last but not least, let's try to do this fast, damn it. The most recent story. This is, I guess, like November or whatever. Let's talk about Mantis. Oh my god, he's the cutest person in the world. Also, just as wholesome as everybody else. So I actually don't have a very good time making Fallout friends for the most part. A bunch of little quirky, like, reasons, but generally when I go into, like, a Fallout Discord, I'm just like, I have nothing to talk to these people about. But somehow, of all the Discords that I ended up getting into, the one where, I'm not gonna say that, like, I do a lot there, but it's actually a place I can stand, is Mantis's Discord. Tends to be a lot more kind of laid-back conversations about lore. I was really curious about it because I watched all of his, this is actually an example of how adorable Mantis is. When he does, like, his facts videos, he always says, this person from the Discord suggested this. And I was like, that sounds like a Discord of people who suggest interesting things. Maybe that's my kind of place. But, as aforementioned, I'm gay. But I don't know if y'all are aware, but sometimes in gamer culture, people just kind of like throw around homophobic slurs like they're fucking confetti. Mantis's community is one of the nicer ones, but sometimes. And I'm always put in this weird position when it happens because I got two choices. Either I can eat shit and pretend like it wasn't a fucked up thing to say, or I can say something and then I'm a drama queen who's like starting shit, right? So in Mantis's forums, somebody says something, they're talking about, you know, killing somebody in Caesar's Legion. I don't remember the exact context of who it was, blah, blah, blah. But a guy in the group says, this is what he said, fitting end for a man in a dress. Fitting end for a man in a dress. Frankly, if anybody watching this doesn't think that that's a transphobic thing to say, then you need to grow up. Caesar's Legion doesn't deserve to die horrible deaths because they're wearing dresses. They deserve that because they fucking enslave people. So, I said, I really hope I misinterpreted that because that doesn't really sound that good. And this guy went completely apeshit in the chat, in the Discord. If screen grabs aren't too hard to find, then I'll find them, but I make no promises. Like, I didn't even say the word transphobic. I just gave him a chance to take it back, and he just dug a fucking grave. So I just said, I'm so sorry, y'all. Because, like I said, I was conflicted because I didn't want to start shit and make a bad experience for everybody in the Discord, but at the same time, it is a bad experience for a lot of silent, hurting queer people if they just see people say shit like that and nobody says anything about it. And while I was looking for screen grabs of this, I found this conversation that I had with somebody in DMs. It's honestly probably not that morally righteous of me to put this in the video because it was a private conversation, but that's why I'm not showing any hints of who this person was whatsoever. But I just had to shine a spotlight on this mentality, this, like, yeah, I see that you were probably right and it was a messed up thing to say, but sometimes you just gotta move on with your day. You know, the perception that this was not the appropriate time to speak up. Well, when is the appropriate time? When it bothers you? Like, look, I get that people want to avoid conflict, but this isn't avoiding conflict. It's pushing it somewhere that you don't have to look at it. There was conflict the second I read what that person said. The question is, do I have help in that fight or do I have to eat it by myself? So every time people say, this fight wasn't worth it, all they're really saying is, this fight isn't worth it to them. And it's just not my nature to be a person who doesn't say anything, because I don't give a shit if people like me or not. Fuck all of you. I don't care. The right audience will think what I just did was awesome. YouTube is a place for, like, self-expression for me. I'm not a people pleaser, and I'm not afraid of conflict. What I am is compassionate. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me, but I give a lot of a shit about people who are suffering. That's the difference. If you all think I'm an asshole, but it makes you suffer less, fucking fine. But I also don't want me to suffer either. Which is why I say what I won't. But I'm gonna be so late to trivia, damn it. Okay. So why do I love Mantis so much? Because when I tell him about this shit, he gives a shit. Now, he has limited capacity for what he can do about it, but the impression that I get is that he is doing the best he can. He cares a lot about representing a community that is tolerant. He does not want to be associated with shit like that, and he completely validated what I had to say about it when I met him at Fallout New Vegas Celebration Weekend. Now, I didn't get on a plane and fly to Vegas to tattletale on this guy, but the reason I found out about New Vegas Weekend was because of Mantis's video about it, and it is that awesome, and I do want to go next year, but it's hard to plan things. We'll talk about that in another video. I'm already gonna be late. So it was definitely on my to-do list. While I was there, I definitely wanted to meet Mantis. And it was funny, I saw this big long line going into a thing to this day. I don't know what they were in line for, but somebody said, oh, they're to meet the YouTuber. And I was like, oh, Mantis is in there? But as it turned out, he was standing right behind me, because that's what happens in life. Oh, did I hit the... And I was like, yeah. And he was awesome. I met his wife. They were super cool. They were super just, like, pumped about the vibe. The whole vibe of the New Vegas thing is awesome. Really pleasant. There was a dude wearing XO1 power armor. But yeah, while I was just chatting with him about life, the universe, and everything, I just mentioned this story about the guy. And Mantis was like, basically had a very, oh no he did not kind of attitude about it. It was unacceptable. And he was really wholesome about it. He was like, you're valid, and if that ever happens again, talk to me or talk to a moderator. And, you know, that is huge, and that's really big of him to take ownership of his community like that, because what a lot of other people do is go, not my circus, not my monkeys, when that time it actually is your circus, and it is your monkeys. He didn't tell me I was making a big deal out of nothing. He didn't tell me that's just the way it is in a gamer Discord, and I have to deal with it. He holds himself to a higher standard, and I respect that. You're good in my book, Mantis, and I would love to have more pleasant stories about you in the future. He's also been really supportive about this channel as well. And while he has said that he's totally down to talk to me at some point and give me Mantis-y advice, we just haven't gotten around to booking anything yet. And if that never happens, that's cool too. It'd be cool if it did, but, you know, regardless, Mantis is cool. So those are my Fallout celebrity stories. I don't have an Oxhorn story. I really, really wish I did. Maybe I don't want a good Oxhorn story. Maybe I want a bad one. I think we should fight. Oxhorn, I challenge you to a duel. If you don't respond, I'll have no choice but to assume you are a coward. Oh, man. What should we fight with? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. How should Oxhorn and I duel? I have to stop recording and go get ready for trivia and take my dogs outside. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope it was a nice, fun, warm, fuzzy time for you. And like, subscribe, check out my shop, check out my website and the other stuff I'm doing, and check out the list of YouTubers on the screen. I remembered! On the screen, while I'm talking, there will be a list of other Fallout channels that I recommend. If y'all ever want me to do like a review of them about why I recommend them, we can totally do that. I gotta go. This was fun. Bye!
If you have to go out, take a gun and a lamp. Everybody knows there's a devil in camp. Ow!